Okay, so we have our lesson packet, and these are the first group of notes that we'll be starting our next chapter with. A conditional statement, now we know some of these definitions, but we're going to go over them again. A conditional statement is an if-then statement. An if-then statement that represents a hypothesis and conclusion. That represents a hypothesis and a conclusion. So the if part is the hypothesis, and I'm so sorry. The if part is the hypothesis, and the then is the conclusion. So I'm going to use some highlighters here. So it's an if-then statement. The if has to come first, and then when the if part happens, the then part follows. So the hypothesis has to happen, and then the conclusion follows. So let's practice here. Let's just identify. We've done this already, but let's identify just using a highlighter real quick. The hypothesis is you bleach your hair. So not the if, just the you bleach your hair. And when you do bleach your hair, so that has to happen first, it will turn blonde. That's your conclusion. So here we have our if, and it's our hypothesis, and here we have our conclusion. So here's a try. You can highlight and pause the video and then check your answer by hitting play, or you can just follow along with me. The hypothesis is going to be you score a touchdown. So you score a touchdown has to happen first, and then the conclusion, if you score that touchdown, so when the touchdown happens, you get 6 points. Now this is called a Venn diagram off to the side here. This is a Venn diagram. I don't know if you've used Venn diagrams in elementary school or not, but they're kind of helpful. They give you a nice little visual of what happens. So the big circle, anything that's enclosed in the big circle, that is all inclusive. So for instance, this part right here is your if. So this is your hypothesis. And then the big circle, I'm going to make that big circle red. That is the conclusion. Now, just because that one hypothesis happens doesn't mean that's the only way to get to the conclusion. For instance, when it rains really hard, the roads become flooded. Well, your hypothesis is it rains really hard, right? And then your conclusion is the roads become flooded. But the roads could become flooded for different reasons. So the road could be flooded. For instance, I was walking down the street the other day and someone was emptying out their pool, and the road was beginning to become flooded because they were, emptying out their pool into the street. Another thing that comes to mind is if you've ever been to Universal Studios, they've got, this pretend flooding that happens for the movies. Well, that right there, the roads in that little set become flooded, but there's not a drop coming from the sky. It's because, they generated that. So just because you've got this, flooded roads. We'll call this flooded roads. The only way to get those flooded roads isn't just through one way, but one way that does flood the roads is when it rains really hard. Rains really hard. Like a major thunderstorm or a monsoon. So here's one for you to try. Smoking cigarettes increases your chances of lung cancer and heart disease. Go ahead and try that and see if you can create a Venn diagram with a big circle and then what goes inside. So what I have is smoking cigarettes increases your chances of lung cancer and heart disease. There's several things that increase your chances of lung cancer and heart disease. So this right here, I go back to using those highlighters because they just are so helpful for me. The increasing your chances of lung cancer and heart disease is the conclusion. One way to get to that conclusion is smoking cigarettes. So we'll put here, smoking cigarettes, that's your if. Smoking cigarettes. And the then is increases your chances of lung cancer and heart disease. And I think they even just put that on the box of the cigarettes, so true statement. Create a Venn diagram for the following statements. So sorry about that. All collies are dogs. Sam is a collie. We're getting phone calls from teachers here because we're trying to plan and do things. So again, I apologize. Create a Venn diagram for the following statement. All collies are dogs and Sam is a collie. So right here we have, if you're a collie, then you're a dog. It's not if you're a dog, then you're a collie. If a collie, then a dog. And then we have this additional statement here that says, hey, look at me, I'm Sam and I'm a collie. So we kind of have three things happening. We've got the dog, we've got the collie, and then we've got Sam. So our major circle, our big circle in our Venn diagram is dogs, right? And collies are dogs. And then Sam happens to be one dog that is a collie. Therefore, Sam goes inside the collie circle. Now, if Sam is let's say that, Max. I had a dog named Max once. Max is what was Max? Max was a mutt, but let's pretend that Max was a pit bull. So if Max is a pit bull, Max wouldn't go in the collie circle. Max is still a dog. Max would go in the dog circle, but outside the collie circle. Okay, you go ahead and try. Write a conditional statement. So this time we've got the Venn diagram and we need to go backwards and write the conditional statement. So go ahead and try that. And when you think you've got it, go ahead and press play. So the if part is if you are a geometry student, I'm going to write the whole thing as a true sentence. If you are a geo student, then you are smart. And if you know me at all right now, you're, well, hopefully you know me, but hopefully you're thinking, holy cow, I can't believe that she's saying the word smart. Yeah, I should have honestly said hardworking people, because you can work hard to get smart. Smart's not, it's a growth mindset thing. It's not all about being smart. It's all about the hard worker that you are, because you can do anything that you choose to do. So hopefully you're okay with me using the word smart. This shows me from a time before I had that growth mindset when it comes to being smart. So where we'll go from here in the next video is we're going to now determine the truth values. So we'll have an example where I'm given a conditional statement, and then we're going to determine the truth values. We'll write converses, inverses, contrapositives, and